Petrol! What is the best Bugatti? Well, not that with those rims, I imagine.
Not this anyway, because it's a horrible, hateful car, but then I don't like any Bugattis, so...
Yours does look a bit weird. Tell us, what is that? Because, well, no one knows what it is because it's one of one.
It's the black car.
Excellent! That's why it's...
Or the Voiture Noir, as they call
black.
it, because they pretend to be French when they're actually... Anyway.
Well, there's enough time for that debate, Petrol. I have brought a Bugatti Chiron Pure Carbon, I think. Something like that. I don't know if this car exists in real life, but it looks good, and I've been using it for, well, as my main car in the crew too, basically. So, get us in!
Excellent. 3, 2, 1, go!
So that is why I am partial to this vehicle, and I like the wing.
I'm using this because it's the only one I have, and I'm bankrupt in this game.
How is that the only car you have? I don't think anyone who owns a Bugatti La Voiture Noire is ever going to say that I am bankrupt.
What do you mean anybody? There's only one of them in the world.
That's a good point.
But what is this waypoint weighing? Essentially, it's just the same car as yours underneath, so...
Yes. Except with a fancy bodywork. It probably has a nicer interior.
I don't think so.
Really? So you are basically paying for not even the badge.
This is literally a Chiron in here.
Right, so you're not even paying for the badge because it says Bugatti on it. You're paying for basically the piece of paper inside your car that tells you that your car is a La Voiture Noire.
Yes.
Right. Honestly, I'd rather have a Chiron. It looks better. And it's probably cheaper to insure. First time anyone's ever...
I'd rather have the other Bugatti that I actually own in this game, which is the Type 57 Atlantic, but that sort of wouldn't be very fast. So.
Hey? What do you mean?
It's not a hypercar, so I'd have lost badly.
Oh. But yeah, exactly. Oh, I see. I understood. But that's very fast, and I was trying to figure out. Wait, what?
No.
That's a concern when considering Bugattis. Right, mine's faster than yours. How's that happen?
Yeah, with that ridiculous wing on the back.
It handles flat. Maybe, but you have a taxi wedge on your roof. Maybe that's detracting.
Oh.
Oh, here he comes. Oh, he is actually quite fast. It turns out.
Doing 260 something.
276! Wow, the slipstream is powerful!
Oh!
I have 6 exhausts.
So do I. Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh, there's a car upside down. Oh no. I used the boost to overtake, so that's illegal in our rules. We're allowed to use the boost to catch up, but not to overtake.
How are the 6 exhausts arranged on the engine if it's a 16 cylinder?
Goodbye.
Which cylinders feed which exhaust? It's sort of...
Yeah, well... Wait, what do you mean? Oh.
Does it not usually divide evenly between the exhausts?
Not necessarily, because it's just a pipe coming out of the end. It doesn't mean...
Well, that's true, yes.
Well, you need the same amount of exhaust manifolds as you do cylinders.
Yes.
But those can just be a pipe that goes into a bigger pipe.
Oh. Yes, but why would you turn 16 manifolds into 6 exhausts? It's such a random number. They should have 16 of them, that'd be brilliant.
Wait, if you make 16 into 12... Wait, that doesn't...
Yes.
If you take a number and make a different number out of it, then it makes sense. It's 1-0 to the car I'd rather have, the Chiron Carbon. Let's see which would be better around the track. Right, in theory, we should be a lot faster than any of these cars.
On the Devo.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, that's essentially again
there's
the
a
same
Tesco
car as both of these.
Yeah, I may have got the difficulty set to 1 because reasons.
Well, Bugatti drivers, we have no skill at all. What? That's proven there. Oh no.
And by you as well. Down the inside! Come on, the big wing! Where is he?
I'm on the slipstream.
Petrol, I have a French flag on my wing.
Why?
Because it's
Why
French.
would you put a French flag on a German car?
Yeah, but by that logic, Italian's also German. No,
What?
Lamborghini's also German.
That's not the logic I'm using.
What logic are you using then?
The Bugatti wasn't French in the first place. Because it was set up in a country called Germany by a man from Italy.
But I thought it was the French supercar manufacturer.
Why would the French make a supercar?
My illnesses are killing me. At least I'm in a comfortable car too. Oh, and it... Yeah, I should have gone for the pit stop while I was ahead.
Many drifting.
Yeah, I was trying to drift here, but I sort of realised halfway through that maybe that's not the best idea.
Wait, since when does this game have French tyre smoke anyway?
It's always had French. That's Crew 2, I think. That's what I've got. This time I will go into the pits. The best thing about Bugatti, let's remember, is the all-wheel drive.
Yes. Definitely worth paying the price just for that.
Yes. But it does sort of do... It does all-wheel drive differently than, let's say, a Subaru would.
Well, it's sort of the only all-wheel drive hypercar.
Lamborghini
Porsche
Aventador,
918, I suppose.
Porsche 918.
Aventador is not so hype. Yeah.
It is according to
Yeah, 918.
Forza. Well, it is
Wait,
according to
some
old
Some
mathematics.
of them sort of are,
'Cause
yeah.
in theory, back in the day, the Murcielago, you will agree, was a hypercar.
No, that was never a hypercar.
Murcielago SV.
I don't think I would ever have called that a hypercar.
Wait, you can look down in interior view.
What?
You can hold down and look at your steering wheel. Wait, no, we need to have this debate. Was the McLaren Mercedes a hypercar?
No.
What would you have called a hypercar back in whenever the Veyron was accurate out? Supposedly the
Exotic
Veyron.
things like Koenigsegg's or Zondas.
Right.
Something that's like more
Zonda.
exotic than a...
Original Zonda. Pagani Zonda. Original. Horsepower.
So I know it was very slow. That's not really...
It had 400 horsepower. Murcielago, I don't need to look that up. 600.
Yeah, but hypercar never had a...
Do I need to ask Google to
numerical
define a
value.
hypercar?
Yes. Because that will be amusing if nothing else.
By Red Bull will know what they're talking about, sure.
Hypercar is a class in endurance racing.
A hypercar is the best of the best supercars. They're distinguished by exceptional performance and speed, often exceeding 200 miles an hour.
But that describes a lot of supercars.
It gets better, sometimes reaching 300 miles an hour. What car can do 300 miles an hour?
Well, in theory, some of them can, but haven't.
What, if they were in a vacuum? Hypercars accelerate from 0 to 60 miles an hour in less than 3 seconds, leaving an impression on even the most seasoned of drivers. Unless they drive a Tesla, or what? How does that work? Ferrari, they'll know.
Tesla is a hypercar.
Ferrari. What does Ferrari say makes a car a hypercar? Continental
They'll say it's
dealers of Ferrari.
badge.
A hypercar considers what's being done. Okay, so a supercar is a 488 GTB. A hypercar is a LaFerrari.
That
Wow.
makes sense.
The definition of a hypercar is faster than a supercar. Thank you for that.
But that sort of doesn't...
End of debate. Well, it's 2-0, I think. Yes, it is. So, we're already coming to the, well, possibly final challenge. A drag race. Unusually, this actually makes sense to end with. Because these cars are, after all, famed for their straight line speed. To be fair, if I bought a Bugatti, it would more be for the... It does seem like a car... Except I wouldn't. I'd buy a Rolls Royce.
Yes.
Why would you buy a Bugatti? Suppose if you want to go on a motorway with no speed limits and not spend... But if you're not spending much time there, you don't need it to be comfortable.
And you're also realistically not going to reach this car's top speed even on one of those.
Exactly. So for every usable situation, you'd either say Continental GT, so a Bentley, or a Rolls Royce, because they're just more comfortable.
There's also only like 2 roads in the world that are long enough straights to actually reach the top speed of these cars.
To be fair, that is more than I expected. Petrol, get us in.
3, 2, 1, go.
This is peak cinematic viewing experience right here. You can sit there. Your stupid black car is completely invisible apart from the beautiful rims. And I can only see my own light bar. Right, so the older car is significantly faster despite having a rear wing.
Right.
Good to know. Which would you rather have?
Yours.
I'd also have mine. Okay, if you look down with your right joystick quickly, then it shows you behind you. If you go very slowly, you can have a look at the steering wheel. I don't know where my hands are now gone. I imagine them to... No idea. Oh, you can have a nice look around in the interior.
Oh, it's got carbon fibre doors.
It doesn't have a screen. I'm actually impressed with that. On the other hand...
Yeah, they've sort of never done that. So even if you get in a Veyron that's now 20 years old, it doesn't look old.
Yeah. It's amazing how the screens in sort of 2005-ish cars are the things that make them look old. On the other hand, I would like a sat-nav in my $2 million car. And as we ponder the point of a Bugatti, it is time to say farewell to this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do consider liking and or subscribing to our channels. Check out Purple Petrol's point of view of this video and a great rest of you. If you have any suggestions for future challenges, please put a comment down below. And if you're feeling particularly generous, do consider leaving a tip using the Super Thanks feature. Thank you. Have a nice day, and goodbye.